Question number 151. If non-commercial suit when issues both of fact and law arise and the court is of the opinion that the suit may be disposed of an issue or law only, the court can, option first, frame issues of law and facts and adjudicate the issues of law as preliminary issue. Option second, frame issues both of fact and law and decide all issues together. And option third, frame issue only on the issue or law and postpone the settlement of other issues. And option four, both first and third. Here the correct answer is option 4, that is first option and third option. Question number 152. For the purpose of amendment of pleadings under Order 6 Rule 17 CPC, the commencement of the trial takes place when the issues are framed, when the affidavits and evidence are filed, when the affidavits and evidence are tendered by the witnesses, once cross-examination begins. Here the correct answer is option third, that is when the affidavits and evidence are tendered by witnesses. Order 6 Rule 17 of CPC is related to amendment of pleadings. The court may at any stage of the proceedings allow either party to alter or amend his pleadings in such manner and on such terms as may be just, and all such amendments shall be made as may be necessary for the purpose of determining the real question in controversy between the parties. Now let us move to the question number 153. X files a suit against Y, which is a partnership of 4 private individuals. X does not issue notice under section 80 CPC. The suit cannot be dismissed for non-compliance, has to be dismissed for non-compliance, can be dismissed at the discretion of the court if the circumstances require a notice. Suit plaint will be rejected. Here the correct answer is option first, that is cannot be dismissed for non-compliance. Question number 154. An ex parte decree passed by court A was transferred to the court B for execution, and which execution proceedings are pending in the court B? Court A sets aside the ex parte decree and on rehearing a fresh decree was passed on the same terms. Options are, since a new decree is on the same terms as a decree which is set aside, the execution proceedings will continue. Option second, court B can continue to execute the ex parte decree since the orders of the transfer has not been recalled. Option third, the decree holder can seek amendment to the execution proceedings. And option 4, the execution proceedings in court B come to an end and a fresh execution petition would have to be filed of the new decree. Here the correct answer is option 4, the execution of proceedings in court B will come to an end and a fresh execution petition would have to be filed of the new decree. In a commercial suit, the time limit of 120 days for filing of the written statement can be extended if the defendant shows adequate reasons for non-filing, can be extended at the discretion of the court, cannot be extended under any circumstances, can be extended with imposition of heavy cost. Correct answer is option third, that is cannot be extended under any circumstances. Question number 156. When the plaintiff appears and the defendant fails to file written statement despite service, the court, option first, shall pronounce judgment under Order 8 Rule 10 CPC. Option second, may either require the plaintiff to prove its case by leading evidence or pronounce judgment against the defendant depending upon the nature of the case. And option third, shall necessarily require the plaintiff prove its case by leading evidence. Option 4, direct personal appearance of the defendant. Here the correct answer is option second, that is may either require the plaintiff to prove its case by leading evidence or pronounce judgment against the defendant depending upon the nature of the case. Question number 157. When an interim injunction has been granted without any notice, the opposite party of the plaintiff fails to comply with the provision of Order 29 Rule 3 of CPC. Options are, the ex parte injunction lapses on the expiry of the time for the compliance. The ex parte injunction would necessarily be liable to be vacated. Option third, the court can extend the time for the compliance Order 39 Rule 3 CPC even after the defendant has appeared and filed written statement. And option 4, the ex parte injunction would be vacated if the non-compliance is prejudicial to the defendant. Correct answer is option 4, that is ex parte injunction would be vacated if non-compliance is prejudicial to the defendant. Question number 158. Issues are framed by court. Onus of some of issues is on the plaintiff. Of some of the issues, the onus is on the defendant. The plaintiff has to file its affidavits and evidence on all issues, file its affidavit and evidence in affirmative on issues onus whereof is on plaintiff, and evidence in negative on issues onus thereof is on defendant. Option third, file its affidavits and evidence in affirmative on the issues onus whereof is upon the plaintiff, file its affidavits and evidence in affirmative on all issues irrespective of onus. Correct answer is option third, that is file its affidavits and evidence in affirmative on the issues onus whereof is upon the plaintiff. Question number 159. X leases Y a property for 10 years from 2000 to 2010 where the rent is payable on the 10th of every month. Y does not pay any rent from the inception of the lease. X sues in 2011 for the arrears of rent from 2005 to 2010 only. Option first, X can thereafter file a fresh suit for the arrears of rent for the period of 2000 to 2004. Option second, X can amend the plaint to include the recovery of rent from 2000 to 2004. And option third, X claim for arrears of rent would be restricted for the period of 3 years prior to the institution of the suit. And option 4, X having not claimed rent from 2000 to 2004 is barred from claiming the rent for subsequent period. Here the correct answer is option third, that is X claim for arrears of rent would be restricted for the period of 3 years prior to the institution of the suit. Question number 160. In a suit under Order 30 CPC, the court grants the defendant conditional leave to defend subject to the defendant securing the suit amount by way of bank guarantee. The defendant fails to furnish the bank guarantee in the prescribed period. The court shall permit the defendant to file its written statement, convert the suit into ordinary suit, decree the suit against defendant, direct the plaintiff to lead evidence. Here correct answer is option third, that is decree the suit against the defendant. Question number 161. A supplies goods from Delhi to B at Mumbai under a contract which provides court in Mumbai would have jurisdiction to deal with the disputes arising out of this agreement. A sues B in a court of Delhi for the outstanding balance. Options are: the court could not admit the plaint owing to the jurisdiction clause in the contract. The suit would be admitted and only B raises an objection to the jurisdiction at Delhi. Would the court determine the same? Option third, B can prefer an appeal against the order of admission of the suit in the court at Delhi. And option 4, B can approach the Delhi High Court for transfer under section 24 CPC. Here correct answer is option second, that is the suit would be admitted and only if B raises an objection to the jurisdiction at Delhi would the court determine the same. Question number 162. A resident of Delhi files a suit at Delhi for infringement of trademark by B, a resident of Mumbai, for using the mark at Mumbai. Option R, the court at Delhi has jurisdiction. The court at Delhi has no jurisdiction because B is a resident of Mumbai and cause of action has arisen in Mumbai. Option third, the court at Delhi has jurisdiction with leave of court. And option 4, the court at Delhi has jurisdiction only if A does not have an office in Mumbai. Here the correct answer is option 4, that is the court at Delhi has jurisdiction only if A does not have an office in Mumbai. Question number 163. A compromise decree operates as res judicata between the parties to the compromise, does not operate as res judicata, 1 or 2 depending upon the facts and circumstances of each case, 1 or 2 depending on the discretion of the court. Here the correct answer is option first, that is operates as res judicata between the parties to compromise. Question number 164. A decree for permanent injunction restraining the defendant from interfering with the possession of the plaintiff, finding the possession of the plaintiff to be settled, would operate as res judicata in a suit for the partition filed by the defendant for the same property. Correct answer is option first, that is no. Question number 165. On receipt of an application for execution of a decree, if the requirement of Order 21 Rule 11 to 14 have not been complied with and the defects are not remedied, then court shall reject the application for execution, allow process of the application for execution, 1 or 2 depend upon the facts and circumstances of each case, none of these. Correct answer is option second, that is allow the process of application for execution. Question number 166. A holds a decree against B for rupees 5,000. B holds a decree against A for rupees 3,000. Both A and B apply for execution of decree to a court which has jurisdiction to execute both decrees. The court may allow execution of A's decree of rupees 2,000. Simultaneously proceed with the execution of both decrees. B shall proceed separately with his decree, none of the above. Correct answer is option first, that is allow the execution of A's decree of rupees 2,000. Question number 167. The period of limitation of an application to restore a suit dismissed from the default of appearance is 30 days from the date of dismissal, 60 days from the date of dismissal, 90 days from the date of dismissal, 120 days from the date of dismissal. Correct answer is option first, that is 30 days from the date of dismissal. Question number 168. Where the suit is dismissed for non-appearance by the plaintiff and the defendant is not yet served, or after service of the defendant both parties do not appear, the plaintiff may bring a fresh suit for the same cause, apply for an order to set aside the dismiss, file and appeal either 1 or 2. Correct answer is option 4, that is either 1 or 2. Bring a fresh suit for the same cause, apply for an order to set aside the dismiss. Question number 169. A granted an injunction restraining B from use of trademark. A alleged that B had willfully disobeyed the injunction order. B pleaded that he had no knowledge of injunction order. Evidence was non-conclusive. The court shall order none of these because the options are property of B attached, B to be detained in civil prison and B to be compensate A by damages. None of the above is the correct answer. That is option 4 is the right answer. Question number 170. A decree shall not operate as res judicata when judgment is passed by a court which does not have subject jurisdiction, judgment is obtained by fraud, if collusion is proved between parties, all these. Correct answer is option 4, that is all of these. Question number 171. A filed a suit against 3 defendants. Defendant number 1 alleged that there was no cause of action against him under Order 7 Rule 11D of CPC. The plaint is to be rejected in whole, rejected in part if the cause of action is not joint and several. Proceed with against all defendants. Option 4, none of these. Correct answer is option 2, that is rejected in part if the cause of action is not joint and several. Question number 172. In a civil suit coming up for admission, if the court does not have subject jurisdiction to grant relief in the suit, the court cannot grant interim relief under Order 39 CPC, can still grant interim relief under Order 39 CPC, has to nevertheless issue summons of the suit, has to frame a question of law and refer to the High Court. Correct answer is option 1, that is cannot grant interim relief under Order 39 CPC. Order 39 CPC is related to the temporary injunctions. Question number 173. In a suit for permanent injunction against a defendant company, the plaintiff sought an interim injunction restraining the defendant from prosecuting the suit in a foreign court. Options are: temporary injunctions can be granted from restraining the foreign court from proceeding with the suit. A temporary injunction restraining from the foreign court can be granted if there is a prior pending suit in India, irrespective of where the defendant resides or carries on business. Option 3, a temporary injunction restraining the defendant from prosecuting the foreign suit can be granted if the defendant is amenable to the jurisdiction of the court. And option 4, all of these. Correct answer is option 3, that is temporary injunction restraining the defendant from prosecuting the foreign suit can be granted if the defendant is amenable to the jurisdiction of the court. Question number 174. An order passed under 39 Rule 1 CPC can be challenged by filing an appeal. Correct answer is first, that is an appeal. Question number 175. Under Order 9 CPC, where a suit is wholly or partly dismissed under Rule 8, the plaintiff shall be precluded from bringing a fresh suit in respect of the same cause of action. Plaintiff may apply for an order to set or dismissal aside. Plaintiff may bring a fresh suit in respect of the same cause of action. Option 4, either 1 or 2. Either 1 or 2 is the correct answer, and option 4 is the correct answer.